Hi, I'm Brian, and welcome to Monroes for Dogs. On this trip we set out to summit our first Sky Monroe, Sgurr na Banachdich. This was part of a trip that Charlotte and myself had planned to spend a few days on Skye, do some sightseeing and get some Monroes done. Unfortunately, the weather was atrocious for most of the time and we didn't actually get much done. There was a break in the weather, however, so we decided this was the time to go for it and try and summit at least one Monroe on our trip away. The Skye Monroes are special sets of hills. They look like nothing else that you're going to climb, so we wanted good weather for them, especially considering they're quite severe. Even on the day we decided to climb, the weather wasn't ideal. It was going to be mostly good for most of the day. However, we're going to get 40-mile-an-hour winds on the top, but it was only just on the summit. The wind was coming up from the back, so we decided to go for it. We'd only just pop our heads up enough times to get photos and then pop down. When you're heading up this route, you've got two choices. You can see a current right now. This leads you onto a track that takes you up towards the Monroe itself. This is the primary route, however it is really boggy. We decided not to go that way. We continued on up the valley, which as you can see is a much better track, but we did come down the other way and that's when we realised how boggy it actually was, and we're quite glad we didn't go up that way. For this route you continue heading up the track for quite a way until you come to an obvious diversion route that takes you up towards the actual Monroe itself. There's still one or two sections of this route that's a bit boggy, but nothing compared to the other way. It's up to yourself which way you go. Drier months, the other way is obviously going to be much drier. However, it was quite severe weather before we climbed this, and the track that we took up wasn't actually that bad. So again, it's your own personal choice which way you want to go. The walk in for this one's actually quite nice, however the challenge does start when you start your major ascent. There was a very steep, grassy, then shaly slope that you have to traverse. I think it's easy to say this is going to be the toughest part of your climb. When you do start heading up this section, I would highly recommend pushing over to the left hand side. I was more to the right and the ground was horrific. There isn't much of a track, but on the left hand side, Charlotte and the dogs did manage to find much better ground to actually traverse than I did, as you'll see in the video. Walking up this loose ground just saps all your energy away. I am glad to say this is only a small section of your climb, however it does seem to go on and on forever. Sgurr na Banachdich is probably recognised as one of the easiest Munros, if not the easiest Munro on Skye. So that being the case, it was a good beginner one for us and the dogs. We were hoping for a bit of a view, however there was some clag hanging over the summit that just didn't seem to want to move for us. We still got some good views from the lower part of the Munro itself, as you can see in some of the photos. Skye is just an amazing looking place. As you start heading up your final push towards the summit, there are some currents to help direct you towards the summit itself. There's not much of a path, as you can see from the terrain that you're on. It's quite rocky and bouldery, lots of sharp rocks, however Cody and Poppy's paws were absolutely fine at the end of the trip. You can just see one of the little rock currents just passing Cody right now. The terrain does ease off every so often as you're heading towards the summit, so it's not always big boulders that you've got to traverse. There's also a few makeshift shelters scattered about the hillside where you could easily shelter from the wind or have your lunch. There's nothing on this Munro that's really going to stop your dogs, but if you were going to go up in the same weather conditions that we did, I'd make sure you've got some good navigation, as there's quite a few cliff edges on the left hand side as you're going up. We were really pleased that we got to summit our first Skye Munro. Just a shame about the weather on top, we didn't manage to get any decent photos. That being said, we still had a really good time summiting, and the experience is always well worth it. And because of the high winds, we decided to spend as little time on top as possible, get our photos, and then head straight back down the way we came up. am looking forward to getting back to Skye at some point to do some more of the Munros. Just need to make sure next time that we get better weather than we got this trip. I'd like to thank you for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe, and leave a comment for anything you like or don't like, so we can always improve the videos. And I'm sure we'll see you all on our next adventure.